So starting the test drive in the Tacoma here, the iForce engine does pretty well, and I've said this before, the iForce Max just kind of does it for me. I like having the instant torque from the electric motor paired with the turbocharged 4-cylinder, but just having the 4-cylinder still, you get pretty good pickup. Now overall driving dynamics, and I've said this about the Tacoma several times, I've driven pretty much every trim level, I think except for the TRD off-road. Driven the TRD Sport, the SR, just drove the Limited, and this one being the SR5. And it's just something about the ride quality in these that's just weird. And again, it doesn't bother me, but it's just kind of noticeable. I just feel like you have more of a stiffer driving feel, if you will. Which again, doesn't bother me, but it's something that might bother a lot of other consumers. Might be the difference between you getting this and a Frontier is how this thing rides, but I will say that's really the only thing that I can pick on hardcore on the Tacomas, is that just the rocky ride you get on some of these rougher roads here in Manchester. I like how the steering wheel feels. I like the steering feel in general. How the truck gets up to speed. It does feel like, it's weird. It's like smack dab in between the outgoing 4-cylinder and V6 that you had in the Tacomas. Now obviously you get the pull of the V6 when you put your foot in this thing, but just driving it normally, the turbo still helps. And then just having the displacement setup that it has, you just have a much more linear acceleration curve than you would think in this truck, as opposed to the Tundra, specifically the iForce Max Tundra. When you put your foot in that thing, it's wild. It's a wild feel. That thing pulls. But overall, I mean, the truck is solid, I think. I think you get a lot of features for the money, specifically in something like this, an SR5. It's still 44 grand. If you want an SR, you can do that, but it's nice having the power lumbar support, the heated seats, things of that nature, as opposed to what you get in the base model. But I do think the SR is a steal for what you get, especially when it comes to Tacomas themselves, because I feel like you get a lot in here that you wouldn't necessarily miss in the SR, but you're paying quite a bit less. But then again, I look at that Limited I just drove, which was almost 55 grand sticker price, compared to this one being like 43, a little bit more than 43. You get so much with that, but you're paying a whole 10, 11 grand extra. So if you're looking at that truck, that's probably what you want, but most of us are trying to save everywhere we can, so. But with this one not having that adjustable variable suspension that was optional on the Limited I just drove, I don't know if it's because it just feels rougher anyway, or I expected it to be rough, or it's because I have cloth seats here, I don't know, but this feels like it rides a bit better than that Tacoma Limited I just drove, which is weird. Now I will say some of those features on that Limited were nuts, and I said that in that review, just having the power running boards and the heated cooled seats, the heated steering wheel, the moonroof, just everything that you get with that thing standard. It is quite a bit for that money. Now, one other thing that I feel, again, if you like driving your vehicles, if you like kind of feeling the differences in them, like, okay, how does this feel with the sport mode, or how does this feel in eco mode, things of that nature, you only get the ECT. So you can put that in power, you can put that in normal, that's it. But I am gonna put it into the power setting, and we're gonna see how this thing gets up. So here we go. So I certainly wasn't giving it a ton by any means, but it got up to speed very efficiently to just be on the throttle just a tad. I was not on it at all. But I have the full safety sense system going, lane tracing assist, adaptive cruise. And yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know, maybe if that other Tacoma wasn't set up right, but this just feels a lot smoother here. Let me get over in this other lane. Maybe it's the road. Yeah, this just doesn't feel as shaky as that last one that I was in that had that adjustable suspension. Maybe there's a reason, I don't know. Maybe it was the setting I had it in, but this rides much more solidly than that other Tacoma. Which is just weird. You'd think that the adjustable suspension would have a better ride, but no, this one rides better. Now, I do want to give one more thank you to John Roberts Toyota for allowing me to review this truck today. And again, if you're looking to find the best price on one of these in your area, just click on that link down below. It takes a minute to fill out that info, and I'll fight to make sure that the dealers are getting you that best price on one of these. But I mean, a pretty solid truck. The SR5 is always a good way to go just because of what you get, just having kind of a mid-level trim there. And this one is just, I like how it's optioned out, having the running boards, the Predator steps, having the heated seats. And again, I don't know why this rides better than that Tacoma Limited did, but it does. But if you're in the market for a Tacoma, I feel like you won't be disappointed, especially if you're coming out of an older one. So they did a lot of improving here. You just might not like having a turbo 4 as opposed to that V6, but I think you'll be all right. And like I always say in these new turbocharged engines from Toyota, we'll see about reliability. We're already seeing in the Tundras how we're having some issue there as opposed to that bulletproof V8, but we'll see how this one holds up over time. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Toyota Tacoma in the SR5 trim level.